You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got us a little CBA update, sort of. But yeah, it's a good feel of where things are right now, and well, things are basically no further than they were. The WNBA owners / NBA owners and the players are at what's being called a stalemate right now. Why? Well, it's because the owners refuse, and I don't blame them, to even acknowledge the ridiculous revenue sharing scam. There, I just said it out loud. Scam that the WNBA Players Union is suggesting. All right, they're wanting 30% of revenue, gross revenue. The league has come out and said, look, we'll keep losing money if we do that model. Okay. As you're sitting here listening to this video, how many of you feel like taking all of your cash out of your pocket, going outside and putting it in a pile, put a little lighter fluid on it, and flicking your Bic and lighting it on fire and watching it burn? I'm willing to bet 0% of you believe that's a great idea. And guess what? It's not a good idea. It's stupid as hell. But that is what the players, I just put a visual illustration for you. That is what the players are content with the owners to continue to do, is put their money in a pile and keep burning it. And the owners have finally said, much to their credit, frankly, you know what? I'm giving the owners credit. They finally said enough is enough. Either we do a deal that's beneficial for everybody, or the league won't continue. It's that simple. Again, the players, they ended the CBA too early. They should have waited. They should have gotten a year in to the new media rights deal so everybody could see, with Caitlin Clark healthy, because that's all this is about. The entire media rights deal is because of Caitlin Clark. And she was injured last year. A full season of media rights money, the gate revenue coming back because Caitlin Clark is back. The Caitlin Clark goes back into full effect, and they can get a year of actual data under their belt. As opposed to, was 2024 and 2025 an outlier? Because let's be honest, there's a lot of data that they can go and pull that doesn't look so good on the books. In fact, it looks terrible. This is ESPN. They updated this just to give everybody an idea where things are at. As the deadline passed on January 9th, the sides ushered into a period of, quote, status quo. In the 3 weeks since, the stalemate has continued. Players Association still awaiting an official response since sending in its proposal a month ago. The league said, nah, we're not even entertaining it. The league believes the proposal didn't warrant a response, since it wasn't that different from the past ones the unions have submitted. And instead, sources told ESPN it's waiting for the players to submit what it would consider a, quote, more realistic proposal. There you go. Multiple sources have told ESPN that there's an understanding that the only way to find resolution is to find compromise. Quote, that's literally what negotiation is, one player told ESPN. It says they got to come to an understanding of the revenue. We know that's a 70-30 situation. 70% of net revenue over the lifetime of the agreement. That is what the league wants to give. That's net revenue, net. And in other words, you have to start turning a profit before you see any money. That's fair. I'm not talking about their salaries. Talking about extra money. While players have proposed receiving 30% of gross, and that's not going to happen. Sources have indicated to ESPN that owners are unlikely to significantly yield on the revenue sharing position. Though there is wiggle room at the cost of other players' expenses, they occur under the players' current proposal. The league has stated its priorities are not only to increase player compensation, but amid an opportunity to shift from decades of operating at a loss to sustained profitability, to also incentivize owners to continue investing. That tells you right there, the owners are saying, we're not putting any more money into this league till we know we can turn a profit. We found out last year in 2024 when the 2024 numbers came out and they still lost $40 million. As part of that New York Post article, it said the owners are officially pissed that they're not making any money. Players have broadly stated that the percentage of gross revenue for which they're asking, quote, represents our value and is not too much. I'm going to tell you, you hear that? You ever hear another saying that's used a lot? This, it represents my truth. That's my truth. No, there's no your truth. There's just the truth. That's some made up shit. That's poof, out of nowhere. My truth. No, there's just the truth. You may not like the truth, but it is what it is. That's another agenda buzzword. The whole league's a bunch of agenda bullshit. Quote, represents our value. I mean, your value is based on how much money you can generate for the league. That is your value. Frankly, nobody knows what that is yet. I think that's the problem. And that's why I said they should wait. By the way, they're also looking for middle ground on housing. I'm sorry, but if we're giving you nearly $2 million by the end of the next CBA, if we're giving an average salary of $500,000, I mean, I'm not paying for your housing. I'm no. Now, if y'all want to find a place and all shack up together, which in this league, yeah, that's probably preferable. God. Things you got to worry about that no other sport has to contend with outside of women's hockey and soccer. But you get my point. I mean, no. Be adults and worry about your own. When you're making that much money, you can figure out your own housing. You know, it's different if, hey, you want to go away to training camp, like in the NFL. You know, every one of these teams tend to go away somewhere for training camp, right? Oxnard, California is where the Cowboys go. Well, yeah, they put them all up in a place out there. A lot of times it's just like it's not Army barracks, but it's something similar for training. Okay. I mean, is that what you want? Or they're looking for pay for our Marriott for the whole year? Well, wait a minute. You're going from an average salary of $100K to a half a mil. We think you can afford $40,000 a year worth of an apartment. And honestly, who the hell's paying $4,000 a month for an apartment? You better go find you a $2,000 apartment somewhere and be quiet. They're stuck. They're at a stalemate. Free agency needs to happen. Expansion draft needs to happen. Here we are. The update is they're at a stalemate. Tell me what you think. I'm starting to wonder. It's starting to feel like a strike is coming. And if a strike happens, understand, if you lose basketball, it is on the players. The owners have offered a whole lot more money. A whole lot more money. And the players refuse to sign a deal. Again, do a short CBA, 3 years. Then go back to the table. I'm going to tell you the problem. You got a bunch of veteran players in this league that thinks their value, that they should have been making $1 million a year 10 years ago. And they're trying to make all that money up because their career's over. No, sorry, that's not the way it's going to work out for you. But now you at least got Unrivaled for another, I've got a video coming on that for another year, maybe. And then you got Project B. At least you got other avenues you've had overseas. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.